Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for joining the Tarot Tips. Today I'd like to talk about something that I'm going to call the importance of being earnest. And this comes out of the experience that I documented in a recent article that I wrote for the American Tarot Association. You work with cards and you read cards for people, and you never know when some little piece of magic is going to happen. And that's the point of this topic today. I was working, let me just say that the article was in the April issue of the American Tarot Association's newsletter, Reflections, in case you want to refer to it. But the point for our purposes today is to make clear that you never know when your words are going to reverberate in somebody's mind. And so it's very important that you as the reader are as clear as you can be, that you are as honest as you can be, and that you take the question with as much seriousness and import as you can. Now, that's not to say that you should address any and all questions that come your way. As the reader, you do have a right to say no to any question that a querent might posit. I know some people who will not address health issues. That's their personal choice, and they're entitled to that. Sometimes, especially younger people, might ask, how long am I going to live or something like that. That's something I don't like to address. So let me make the point that you don't have to ask whatever, you don't have to swing at every pitch that comes your way. But having said that, to make the point that as the reader, if a client offers up a question that feels like it's coming from a genuine, sincere place inside of them, and if it doesn't step on your own personal boundaries, even if you don't quite relate to where the question came from, be as honest as you can. Because my experience with this, which again was documented in a couple of months ago, was that somebody asked a question during a reading that it came from that place that I couldn't relate to. She wanted to know if her husband, who she was devoted to, and who since has passed, if he maybe was with somebody on the other side. And this is a question that didn't offend any of my boundaries, but had a few steps in there that it's like, well, okay, if this is important, let's address it. So we addressed it. I told her what I told her, and came to a place where I felt that even though I didn't quite relate to the question, I responded to it in an honest and integral kind of manner. That's the point of this video. That's what's your job as a reader, is to hold integrity, be honest, be direct. I heard back from her later that that comment, what I told her, her question was not one I would have asked, but my response to her was, given the cards that were out on the table in response to the question, were that he isn't on the other side anymore. He's been reincarnated. He's not over there, he's here. That's not something that would have come up in my own mind without that question. So the querent brings their experience, their wants and needs to the table. As the reader, it's our job to respond to them as clearly and honestly as we can. So my response was that he was back into this physical plane. So a couple of months later, when she's feeling so sad and despondent about the loss of her husband, my words, she said, popped in her head, and it evaporated a lot of her anxiety about missing him so much. Now, that to me is a little miracle. That to me is the power of your truthful words. You never know how somebody's going to take it. You never know how that's going to be used or not used in their psyche, in their consciousness, or in their life. But you don't want somebody coming back to you and saying, remember what you said about blah, blah, blah? It's like if you were having a moment of uncertainty and you said something you really didn't mean, you don't want that to come back to haunt you. So my point here is, whatever you say, be earnest about it. You never know when that's going to have a significance far beyond what you intended in the moment. So keep that in mind, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.